Well, joining us now from Manchester in the UK is Latin America analyst Colin Harding. Colin, really good to have you back with us. It really does seem that the Trump administration is doubling down on its assertion that the sale of Venezuelan oil is helping the Maduro government to finance all sorts of crimes, according to Washington. What's your view in what's happening now around the waters around Venezuela? Are you worried that it might escalate into a wider conflict?
It's hard to see that happening, but certainly other Latin American countries are concerned, and Brazil and Mexico particularly have said that any kind of military intervention by the Americans would be a disaster and that a peaceful settlement needs to be reached. It does appear what the Americans are trying to do is put a stranglehold on the Venezuelan economy. It's interesting that President Trump's rhetoric in recent days has shifted from accusing Venezuela of being a narco state and narco-terrorists and so on, and to this question of that Venezuela has stolen American oil and land and other properties. This appears to be a reference to changes in the joint venture agreements with the foreign oil companies earlier this century, about 20 years ago, in which a number of companies reached an agreement with the Venezuelans to divest a lot of their properties, but American companies, notably ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips, didn't. There had been a succession of international legal cases and some awards against Venezuela for compensation, which they've refused to pay. So this appears to be the justification for Trump saying that Venezuela has stolen American property, American oil, and this oil, which has supposedly been stolen, is now the Venezuelans are trying to export it, and Americans are determined to stop them.
Yes, because Venezuela does have the world's largest proven oil reserves, and the Trump administration has essentially declared a blockade on all Venezuelan oil shipments. Do you think what the US has done in recent days will deter countries who are currently buying Venezuelan oil from doing so?
Yes, that does appear to be what's happening. Most of the oil exported by Venezuela these days is very heavy crude, which goes from a terminal in the east of the country called Jose. And reports say that hardly any oil is being shifted from Jose, and the storage facilities are pretty well full. It's not going to be long before, if this carries on, before Venezuela starts to close down some of its wells. They're not producing nearly as much as they used to anyway, and their economy is so dependent on oil exports. If the Americans stop them from exporting much in the way of oil, their economy is very badly hit. And I think that is the American hope, that they won't have to intervene militarily, that the government will just collapse and Maduro will be forced out. But what happens after that is a very good question.
Okay, Colin Harding, thank you as always for sharing your thoughts with us on TRT World.
Pleasure.